Now we're going to cover the unconscious breathing victim in the workplace and how to implement the recovery position safely. Now in this scenario, we needed to make sure that our scene was safe, our gloves were on, and our rescue mask was available with a one-way valve, and then do a little bit of detective work. We know he's laying here on the ground, so could he have just passed out? Sure. Could he have low blood sugar? Yeah, for sure. Could he have had a seizure? Yes. But there's obviously a tool on the actual workbench that has an open wire. So is there a chance that he was electrified? Absolutely. And that makes more sense than anything else. So we might even want to look for fractures, burns, entry and exit areas where the electricity went in and came back out. But the one thing that we knew right away is when we assessed this person, they were unresponsive, but they were breathing normally. They had good skin color. So this was not an immediate CPR situation. However, because they're unresponsive, they did not respond to my taps and shouts, I'm still going to activate EMS. You in the plaid shirt, go call 911 and come back. I might need your help. Bring an AED with you if you find one. And then before I even touch the person, what did I really need to look out for? Scene safety that still might be risk to me. He was electrocuted. Is the cable still touching him? Is the wire still touching him? Is he still electrified? So we made sure that anything that carried energy was de-energized before I ever even tapped the patient themselves. Now, once I've assessed them for breathing and they are breathing normally, I need to help protect that airway that's being used to bring the air into their lungs in case they vomit, in case they have blood in their mouth. I don't want that to go into their lungs. I want it to come out of their mouth while we're waiting for EMS to arrive. So how do we do that? The recovery position is done like this. As long as there are no fractures to these bones that I'm going to be moving, I can move them. As long as I don't suspect a serious neck or back injury, I can move them. So I don't suspect any of that stuff, and I'm not seeing any deformity, so I'm going to go ahead and log roll them. Now, I bring the arm that's closest to me up, as I just did. I bring the leg that's furthest away over and cross his ankles, and then I go underneath his head and neck as I bring his wrist with his hip, and I draw him towards me. I now bring the leg that's closest to me up like a kickstand, relieve the pressure of his head from my hand as I escape that out. I bring his arm underneath, and then I kind of lean him towards the ground. I do this so that he won't roll all the way over, but I do it so that there's gravity working with us, not against him. I want fluids that come into his mouth or up from his stomach to come out of his mouth and onto the ground, not choking him, not obstructing the airway. The recovery position is a great way to have this type of person lay while we're waiting for EMS to respond. But at the first point that we think this person stops breathing or loses their pulse, we're going to roll them right back onto their back and we're going to start CPR. If we think they might be going into shock, we cover them with a sheet coat or blanket, and then we spend the rest of our time reassessing them continuously for responsiveness, airway, breathing, and circulation.